A sponsored student from a refugee camp has little to no income, so their first year of living costs and school costs in Canada are covered by the local committee. It is also important for the local committee to help the student integrate into the Canadian workforce.
Okay, I can advise students who are preparing to come in Canada that they should get prepared to a lot of work at the university, and they should also realize that they are going to be at the university, so they have to work hard, and they are also going to be embarrassing time different from the way they were doing the camp.
So I've worked at different jobs, out at a factory at Toyota. I worked in the government at the LCB, it's a Crown Corporation, and then I'm a teaching assistant. So I've seen different kinds, and I've seen that all of them, they need like results. Like if they tell you to do something, you do it. And while in the camp, which is also was good, was effective, but like sometimes you don't really learn anything from working there, and there are not many opportunities. It was mostly like either you do translation or maybe you teach in secondary school. So there were less opportunities, I think.
First, it was really very tiring to find a job in the first place, because being a refugee there, it's really hard to get a job, and most of the jobs that you find there are translation jobs or like some little jobs. And I was lucky to find a job with one of the good NGOs that pay nicely, kind of incentives, but it was good. I was happy with it. And the thing is, where I was studying and where the job was located, it was like a long distance. At the end of the day, when I'm like in school, I just get tired just because of the energy that I've used, the walking, and within that, I had like 2 hours, like from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. Like I attended classes. Yeah, it was hard, like seriously, because in between that time there wasn't like any break for myself or like food, so I just work. So at the end of the day, I was just drained. Like sometimes I feel dizzy just because I was standing the whole day or like doing something.
In Canada, we insist a lot on producing so much in a very short space of time. It's more capitalist, I want to say, and we want to make as much money as possible in a second.
It was easy because it was just on campus and I didn't have to do a lot of walking, but like I had to integrate that with my school work, but it was easier.
Working here is very beneficial, and it's more skill based, and you actually learn a lot of things when you work, and it's very effective. They actually want to see results in what you do.
A sponsored student may not know how to access job hunting resources. It's important to help them with this. It's easiest to start them on campus.
They went around to see if there's an open position within the library or anywhere close by.
The Placement Service Office at Nipissing University is the location where students can go for one-on-one consultation with an advisor. That advisor will help them to write a resume. Many of them have never written resumes before, and as we know, there are different styles in different countries. Also, many students have only had volunteer experience and not paid experience. So they may think, well, then I don't have what it takes to fill out a resume. I have nothing to put on my resume. When in fact they do, because there's a lot of volunteer skills that you can acquire that transfer into employment.
They helped me make my first resume, which I never knew how to do and how to go about it.
So the counselor will work with the student in that regard, as well as helping them write a cover letter, which again can be something that's very new and different. The cover letter should initiate some spark for the employer to find out who that person is, not a repeat of what's in the resume, but to highlight the strengths that they have and they bring to a position that's being advertised.
We're going to spread out now into different departments looking for where they are hiring right now.
One way to connect to employment opportunities, and we have it here in our program at Nipissing in social welfare and social development, is a community service learning course. When the students go out into the community, they work with an agency, In Eve Kalala's case, it was at the Multicultural Center. They do a placement that's about 4 hours a week, every second week, and in every second week they come to class and they talk about what they've learned, and so it's a good experience for them. A lot of the students we have comment on how that was a really good experience for them. They get to work in an agency where they think they might want to work eventually.
Through there, we've made partnerships, and the students in their 3rd or 4th year will be able to work within Laurier International doing whatever they have that needs to be done, and then maybe work for 8 or 10 hours a week to gain income, and from there then they can have references and be able to put that employment on their resume.
Another major aspect that our career placement office can offer students is videotaping of mock interviews. That's quite exciting, also nerve-wracking for the students in many ways, but it's good for them to see their body language as well as to hear themselves speak to determine whether they're speaking too quickly, are they enunciating their consonants, are they speaking clearly, and that kind of thing can go a long way. So it's important to be able to come in a very positive manner and not be too nervous. And having successive videotapings to work through some of the traits that an individual possesses is very helpful, because they can cite things that they can improve, they can work on that and come back and try it again.
Also, try connecting with employment centers in your community.
She recommended I should go to the Yes Employment, which many students would do. So the law committee helped to introduce me to what centers like those.
Mohammed, he helped me finding all the websites where you can see all the jobs and you can apply for them. So that was very helpful.
Don't forget to use your own social networks to find job opportunities for the sponsored student.
As well, we have personal affiliations with 10,000 Villages Waterloo, just through students who have volunteered with them in the past. They can recommend the SRP students to also have positions there, and so it's purely volunteer, but you get retail and cash experience and good references, again, that you can later put on your resume and take on to future employment.
The most important thing, however, is to keep checking in with the sponsored student. See if their interviews with career counselors went well, and clarify anything that they didn't understand. If they need it, go over their resumes, strengths, and skills, and also make sure that they're applying for jobs that are well suited to them. Role-play job interviews if that's what they ask for. Support them throughout the process.
I find that is a good approach, instead of them doing everything, like helping you with a resume or doing all the things. So they introduced me to resources, but they followed up. So which I found as an advantage, because after being introduced to resources, they followed up with what's going on. Have you done your resume? Have you applied? And if there's anything maybe I could not share further with the center, I would talk with the law committee.
Yeah. Accessing employment is the same for a sponsored student as it is for any of us. It's about self-sufficiency and knowing how to provide for yourself within your own community.